started on that one. Let me start on this one. We're not rolling doggies today, Tess.
No, doggy rolling?
No, we're podcasting.
Oh.
On the Podbean.
We have a doggy.
We do have a doggy. We got a doggy.
Yep. She is husky.
She is a ridiculous white Siberian husky.
Yes.
2 years old and very dramatic.
Yes. So drama.
And partially got her as a running companion for you. Tell us how that's working out for you,
That was a good idea.
Tess.
Until it wasn't anymore. Now she is mad at me. Because I broke my foot. She says, walk,
That poor dog.
And I say, I can't.
Well, I did manage to run her for a mile today, so we won't call that a total loss.
No, the kiddos are also very active, so it works out, I suppose.
It works out. And you're scheduled for surgery
Tomorrow.
Yay!
Tomorrow. It's surgery tomorrow. It's only a day away.
Which means we're making you NPO at midnight, and I'm gonna hide your water bottle. I'm kidding. You can drink water until 8.
They said I could take small sips. Well, I could drink water of clear liquids. I'm gonna get this.
You got it.
All the way up until 4 hours before surgery. And then I can take small sips of water until the surgery.
Which means you can even have coffee tomorrow, as long as you...
Coffee is a clear liquid?
It's a clear liquid. This is controversial, by the way. So if we get mean comments, it's my fault. But depending on how you brew your coffee, I think makes a difference too. But
oh my.
Many of us consider coffee to be one of the clear liquids. It also makes your people a lot less grumpy. So some of my people with clear liquid diets, I will give them coffee. No creamer.
Yeah.
But coffee.
It doesn't even work with the whole intermittent fasting thing. Can't have creamer.
Nope, you cannot.
Yay, I can drink coffee.
You can drink coffee. I will let you drink coffee, just because I'm very nice.
But yep, I broke my foot. I was jumping out of an airplane to go and save the country of, I don't know, Burma, I guess. It's actually top secret. I can't tell you which actual country.
The country full of orphans.
Yes, absolutely full of orphans. Yep, I just hit the ground wrong, you know?
Well, then the orphans have to take care of you, Tess. This is a really bad plan, actually.
If there's anybody I would trust, it would probably be orphans.
Well, yeah, but if you're there to help them in their country, and then you just show up with a crazy parachute and a broken foot, you're hardly helping. In fact, you're a further drain on resources.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I should probably just say PSA, watch out for stools. Especially solid wooden ones. They really hurt when you kick them and then land on them.
Don't kick stools.
Don't kick stools. Yep.
But it's not the first time you've broken that foot.
Gosh, had to be my left foot. I mean, I guess I'm happy it wasn't my right foot. I guess that would have been, I don't know. I waver.
I'm pretty sure if you had kicked that stool with your right foot would not have broken.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But your left foot has been through a lot and is significantly less bendy.
Less
than it used to
bendy.
be.
Yes. Yes. Well, and you know, the worst part is I kicked it, I yelled really loudly, and I sat there and I was like, oh, this hurts a lot! And all the children were just quietly staring at me. Like, can we help? I'm like, just do your jaws. Give me a minute. And then I was like, I'll be fine. And I was like trying to walk on it, and it
And
hurt a
doing
lot.
your jobs refers to they were cleaning up from
Oh
a meal
yeah.
and starting laundry and
Yeah,
washing
doing their
dishes.
chores.
Yeah,
I suppose
doing their
most
chores.
people call them chores.
Most people call them chores.
That could sound weird if you don't know
It
that.
could sound weird if you don't know that.
Yeah.
But they were doing their chores,
Yeah.
continue doing their chores, and
Yeah, and I was walking around just going, ow, ow, ow. It's just a bruise. I know it's just a bruise. And then I slept on it all night. I woke up and told Anna I should go to the hospital. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. And then we went to the ER, and they said, oh, it's just a little break. You'll probably just need to be in a boot for 6 weeks. And so they gave me a cute little boot and you pump it the air thing.
but they also put in a stat referral to an orthopedic surgeon.
Yes, they did do that.
Yes, they did do that.
And
Which saw you on Christmas Eve.
they did, which was the next day.
Yes.
Yeah, and I went in and they said, he goes, yeah, there's lots of ways you can break your foot, but this one right here, it takes a long time to heal. It's in a watershed spot. And then he goes, we call it a Jones fracture. And usually if a fracture has a name, that means it's not very good. Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But Myra was very happy because she was standing there, and I call her Jones all the time, and she thought that was fantastic. So
Did you tell her it was her fault?
absolutely, I absolutely did.
And she knew you were joking. That's just silly.
Yes. She wasn't even the root. It was the other 3 kids, the younger 3 kids.
So today is New Year's, and
Yes.
the 2nd of January, you will have your surgery.
Yes. More surgery.
Yeah.
He said it was only supposed to take 15 minutes, so that's like, I haven't done the math compared to my previous total foot reconstruction surgery.
8.5 hours, Tess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's 15 minutes as a percentage of 8.5 hours? Whatever that is, it's much smaller.
Yeah, definitely smaller. God.
4 times 8 is...
I don't want to do that math. I'm just glad it's not going to be another 8.5 hours.
Yeah. So from that perspective, it doesn't seem so bad. It is still surgery though. Still gotta stick a screw in my bones, or at least one screw. I don't know. Surgery on bones, it's like building a house. It's crazy. Just terrifying.
Yep.
Terrifying from my perspective.
Screws and drills and
Yeah, it's
hammers
nuts.
and chisels.
Yeah.
Ironic,
like a friggin-
considering how you broke it the first time.
Yeah.
Well, because that's what we get for not having a screw in that 2x4 and making you fall off 25 feet worth of a roof. Is that now you'll never be short a screw again in your life.
It's ironic. A screw or two short meant a whole mess of screws in my foot.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Do we have to tell that story?
We probably have to tell that story.
Oh, man.
That was in 2015. 2015. So nearly 11 years ago now.
Yep.
April 18th.
Yep. Yeah, it's 4 months away from being 11 years.
Mm-hmm. And you can remember it because it's the same date as Paul Revere's ride.
That's
The
right.
18th of April in 75. Hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year.
I did it.
Yeah, you
Until
did
just
it.
right now.
That's how I remember it. I memorized, I think it was like 26 verses worth of Paul Revere's ride when I was in like 4th grade? Somewhere in there. I memorized a lot of it. It was very good.
But you know what I remember is on April 17th, start at the beginning, is we went to Whataburger for supper that day.
We did?
I remember that. That was very good.
Mm-hmm. Did we go with other members of the cult at that point?
I'm not sure. I don't think we did that night. I think it was just us.
I think it was just us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think we made an HEB and Whataburger run.
Yeah.
Because we were just barely starting to...
Well, we knew we were leaving.
Well, yeah, we had decided we were leaving. We already had it all lined up to go to Montana to apprentice under my grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But we were going to stay for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep. We were going to leave about the 1st of June.
Oh, that would be like 6 weeks.
April, May. No, we must have been going in May then, weren't we?
I guess. That seems early.
Oh, I'm thinking when we ended up going, because we ended up going in June.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, we were going to head out a couple weeks later. First week of May.
Yeah.
By that point, we were supposed to have that whole cult compound roof on.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Get the roof on.
Which is why we were so mad when the leader came back from Mexico and insisted that you redo.
Yeah. That's really
God,
funny.
what were you redoing?
The truss. It was, what are those called? Purlins.
Yes. You had to redo the purlins. They were perfectly acceptable as they were, and one of our veteran construction people had recommended you do them the way you do them. And then this cult leader got back from Mexico and decided that he was going to have the 3 people who had stayed behind redo the entire project.
Yeah.
Every single purlin.
Yeah.
Because he wanted them slightly more offset by 6 inches or something? It felt like. It wasn't
something like
more
that.
than that. But
yeah, it was more than that.
It was more than that. But it was just
to redo every other
it was just such an obvious power play at that point.
Yeah.
That we considered even leaving earlier.
Yeah, well, I was pissed off that day.
Yeah, you were pissed off that day.
I worked so hard that week.
Yeah.
But then the cult leader guy had a special person coming in to help out on the day I fell.
Yes,
of course,
he did.
I didn't know it was the day I fell, and he was like, he's gonna come in and whip us all into shape, and we're gonna get a whole lot of stuff done. And so it was like all ramped up and macho, and at least that's how I felt about it. I don't know how everybody else felt about it, but I know that's how I felt about it. Which I've always been kind of, what would be a good word? Aversive to the whole macho thing.
Averse.
Averse.
Just averse.
Yeah, there you go. Adverse to the whole macho thing. And so it always makes me very paranoid and nervous because you had to keep up with all the guys and do all the guy things.
Well, but also this was, if I remember correctly, this wasn't going to help us so much because he knew construction. This was going to help so much because he really liked yelling at people.
I don't remember.
And ramping them up. That's my memory of it.
Well, I know in practice that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you do about construction. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, and it had been raining all week. And it was right outside Austin, Texas in the Caliche. So it was just this mud that builds to the bottom of your feet until you're walking on 6 inches of mud stuck to the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to get everybody out, and it was so foggy that morning that
that's right. It was a foggy
they had
morning.
to start later than they expected. So they all got up at 5-ish, and they wanted to start at 6, but it was so foggy they couldn't. So Mr. Cult Leader Man had Mr. Yelly Yelly Dude yell at people for 3 hours in the main building while we were in our camper.
Right, because we would just hide in our camper for
super
ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were leaving, so we could do that.
Yeah. Well, and they had just decided that two people in the cult were going to get married too, so that was a whole thing, and everybody needed to pray at him.
Yeah. Right, but we started late. I forgot about starting late.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody was like trying to move extra fast, and I was trying to move extra fast again because I got all nervous and flustered, and like I was definitely the most nervous and flustered I've been that day out of any of the times I'd worked on that building.
Well, yeah, because cult leader dude had just come off his vacation, and he was all raring to go, and then
no, it's true.
He wanted to impress Yelly Yelly dude, and Yelly Yelly dude knew that he was there to yell at people, and so they just
and it made me really on edge.
And I came up with the kids because we had 3 kids, and I was pregnant at the time. And so I brought them over to the project like we did every morning, brought everybody popcorn like I did every morning, and then got yelled at for being there. So I went back to the camper and put on a movie for the kids.
Yeah.
Monsters, Inc., actually.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also watched Stargate Atlantis the night before.
We did watch Stargate Atlantis the night before.
Yeah.
I love Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, so then we were working on the gabling, the very end of the building, which was probably really good luck for me in the end, in terms of places I could have been working on the roof.
Absolutely.
and we ran out of screws or nails or something, and I had to go over to a different spot and get more screws, or it's probably screws. I'm guessing it was screws. I don't remember exactly, but.
And at that point, Yelly Yelly dude decided we were doing everything assembly line. So one person would place something, the next person would put the screw, the next person would screw it in.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So,
but you were getting screws when he declared that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But so when you're gabling them in, you get you're putting 2x4s vertical on the end of the roof inside the truss area, right? And so it's kind of like prison bars. You can swing on them, right? If you got.
That's not the main purpose of prison bars. That's the way you're
going. I know. I'm just trying to think of a visual. In a vertical sense, right? You can swing around them and to try and get to the next place, so you have something to hold on to. And that's what I was doing. I was swinging, kind of monkey style, from one 2x4 to the next to get back to the middle of the roof, basically.
Yep.
And one had been placed, a 2x4 had been placed where it was supposed to go. And
right where they started, you put a 2x4, you put a screw.
Right.
Unscrewed in.
Right. And nobody had screwed that one in yet. And so I grabbed it and was in the middle of the swing. And instead of grabbing something, it fell. And so did I. And I fell and
25 feet.
Yep, 25 feet. And all I remember thinking is, that's bad. Boy, I really hope a giant inflatable bouncy house appears right below me. That would be good if that happened right now.
And it didn't.
And then I blacked out.
And I heard you yell.
Yeah, I do remember yelling.
You yelled really loud when you were going down, but I thought maybe it was just part of Monsters, Inc. because there's a lot of yelling in that movie. But I had this weird feeling in my gut, and then one of the girls working there, because we were only 50 yards away from the building?
Not too far,
Not far at all.
Yeah.
One of the girls ran over and started pounding on the door, and she already knew that I kind of knew what was going on, so she just said, "I'll watch the kids," and I sprinted over to you.
Yeah.
And by that point, you had come.
I'd come too.
You had come too.
Yeah.
And it was obvious that something was wrong with your arm.
I'm sure it was. Well, I was yelling about my arm because that's what hurt the most, was my dislocated elbow. That hurt so bad.
Yep. Double dislocation in the elbow.
Yep. And I knew something was wrong with my foot. It was weird though, because my elbow hurt a lot, and I just knew something was wrong with my foot. It didn't hurt really, comparatively speaking at least. But I knew something was wrong.
And the road wasn't paved. It was just caliche.
Well, yeah, well...
And there was no ambulance local that will be able to get down the road. We needed a 4x4.
Yeah. Or, I don't know. I think the coal people just didn't want to call an ambulance. But
I think that was definitely part of it, yeah. Well, and we were uninsured because all of us were uninsured.
Oh, yeah.
And the building project was uninsured. And
yeah.
I think the land had insurance at that point. But that was like the only thing that did.
Yeah. But everybody's... Because I fell 25 feet, and it could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing I woke up and that nothing was wrong with my neck or my spine or my brain or...
So we held C-spine on you.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, at least until you moved me. I don't know, that was weird. How did we even do that?
We had one of the other people holding C-spine on you while we put you on top of 2x4s.
Oh.
And then we slid you off the 2x4s into the back of the truck.
I forgot about the 2x4s.
Yeah.
My elbow just hurt a lot.
Yeah, you forgot about everything at that point.
I remember like riding in the truck and
Yeah.
I vaguely remember you guys putting me in the truck.
So there were a couple of us in the back seat of the truck holding you still, and then we drove the truck to the nearest emergency room, which was, it felt like hours away, but it was probably less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All told.
Yeah.
Well, probably closer to half an hour all told, because I made them go slow over the bumps.
Yeah. But then
they were just yelling the whole time.
They wouldn't give me pain meds at that first place.
No, they would not give you pain meds.
I was pissed because my elbow
you in a
hurt
CT
so
scanner
much.
with a double dislocation, a shattered left foot,
Yeah.
and because I know that they were
so
trying to make sure that they would know neurological changes if they saw them, and they wanted to clear your spine first. Like that was our primary priority.
It was that makes sense.
Yes,
I was just mad because my elbow hurt.
I know.
So
But we
much.
got you through the CT scanner and we cleared your C-spine, and then they called the ambulance to take you to the level 1 trauma center.
Yeah.
And
They
then
gave me pain meds in the ambulance, didn't they?
oh, they did.
Yeah.
Because you were screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming
so
and
much.
screaming, and I was in the trauma bay with you. Well, what they had for a trauma bay there wasn't much. And then these two big old butch women came in from the ambulance crew, and and they reminded me of your aunts, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. And one of them had brought in, I'm sure this is highly illegal, but I know that they had like heard you on the background of one of the calls giving report. One of them brought in some narcotics in her pocket.
Oh God.
And shot you before they even transferred you over to the gurney to get you into the ambulance.
That's funny.
And then, yeah, because they didn't want you moving around and doing more damage to yourself while they were trying to get you into the ambulance, and which was great. So I rode in the front, and then one rode in the back with you, of course, and just kept shooting you up with shit until we got there. And I don't know if you remember much of the ambulance, but you started singing at one point. They did a good job on your pain meds.
I was singing?
Yeah, you were singing.
That kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I do remember like being there and looking at the ceiling and...
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember being able to kind of see people above my head. It's super big.
Yeah, well, they did an awesome job though. And then we transferred you into the trauma bay at the level 1, and this guy came in. They did some x-rays of your elbow first, because that's what everybody was most worried about, because that was what was making you scream so hard, was the elbow.
Yeah.
And then
and it looked impressive.
Yeah, well, and
my foot just looked boring.
Everything was as it was supposed to be, just on the outside of it. And so they tried to manually replace it, like that.
Reduce it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they couldn't reduce it that way, so they hopped you up full of a bunch more pain meds.
Yeah.
A bunch more pain meds.
Yeah, there's a certain point where I very much stopped remembering anything.
Yeah. At that point, that doc told me it was basically conscious sedation.
Yeah, I do remember what the room looked like.
Yeah, he made me leave the room at that point.
Yeah, I remember what the room looked like.
And then there were probably 8 people in that room trying to manually reduce that, because they had one on each side of your elbow, one on your shoulder, one on your wrist, and then a couple on each leg and another on your opposite shoulder. It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting. And then you made the Hall of Fame in that ED that day, because they just left your elbow pictures up on the wall.
Very impressive.
So everybody could look at it. It was very impressive, actually. Very, very impressive.
And I didn't swear at anybody.
You didn't swear at anybody. You were super impressed.
Yeah, I didn't even know how.
You didn't.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. They kept you overnight.
Yeah, but like we did have to we went back to the trailer for a day or so before I had the surgery,
We did.
right?
So they wanted to keep you overnight just to make sure there wasn't anything that they had missed. And then they
That's right. Yeah.
sent us back to the trailer for a few days. Well, not that you were able to get into the trailer because you weren't.
No, that's right.
But
I wasn't in the
they
trailer.
sent us back to the compound for a couple days
Yeah.
so that the swelling could reduce.
Yeah.
And they put a cue ball on you, which
That's right.
did not work very well.
I thought that was after. I didn't think
You're
I had
right,
it
that
till
was after. No, you
Yeah.
were just on the Oxy
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Oxy and a big old splint.
Yeah.
But while we were at the hospital that night, we all knew that you weren't going to be able to make it back into the trailer, so we had a couple of the people rearrange one of the rooms in the main compound house so that we could be there right next to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we brought you back to that, and then they had found a backboard somewhere.
Yeah, I remember the backboard.
Yeah, they had
Well, they
found
had it for the woofer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were doing the woofer
Yeah.
that day. That's
Yeah,
why
probably.
why they wanted to get the roof done so fast too, is because
That's
they
true.
wanted to do the woofer in that building.
Yeah.
And so the Wilderness First Responder Corps, all this stuff had come in for that, and
Yep.
they wanted the practice, so they brought you in on the backboard
Oh yeah.
into the main compound house and switched you over to the bed.
They used the backboard quite a few times with me.
They did.
I don't know if they needed to.
They
but
didn't.
They
But
did.
it was fun for them.
Yeah. And I mean, I had no use of my left arm or my left leg, so.
And they were all convinced that you would not need surgery.
Oh yeah.
Even though, we had come specifically to reduce swelling before the surgery, but they were faith healers, so they all believed that if they just prayed hard enough over you while you were there for a couple days, the doctor would, at most, go in and slice open your foot and then realize it had miraculously healed.
Oh yeah.
And they were actually really, really angry. They took me aside and told me that they were very disappointed when I was taking you in for surgery that day.
God. Thank God I had surgery.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely lost my foot if I had not had surgery.
Yes.
100%. There's no question. My heel bone was in my ankle.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
So it was.
That's always what I
It
think
was
when I
2
think
days
how bad it
of
was.
sleeping in the compound house. We had a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
And you were pregnant.
And I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Still breastfeeding the third.
Yeah.
And trying to feed the children and clothe the children and diaper the children and wash the children. And then take care of you and figure out how to get you to poop when we didn't have any sort of anything. Yeah, we had absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
At that point, and we were totally broke. We had under $1,000 total.
Absolutely.
And then we knew we weren't going to be able to use the camper anymore, and I couldn't even drive the truck.
No, for sure.
So
I wouldn't have been. I
yeah.
couldn't either because I broke my left foot. It was a clutch.
But I was crying and went out behind the house and found what was that one?
The Durango?
The Durango. Yeah, I found a white Durango back in the brush, and it had a flat tire, and it was infested with army ants. No, not fire ants.
Yeah.
Fire ants. But when I asked around, it could run, and somebody had actually just given it recently to one of the people. And so, since I knew they were getting married soon, I offered to trade them the camper for the Durango, and they agreed. So I switched out the tire with the spare, and I bought the most expensive bug spray I could find, and then got in huge trouble because I was poisoning God's earth and should have used diatomaceous earth instead to get the ants out so they wouldn't bite the children.
Diatomaceous earth, that would take forever.
Yes, it worked. They had. Oh my god! So
In Texas.
Yeah.
That's practically the land of diatomaceous earth.
Yes. But they were so angry at me for using bug spray. They were mad at me for using sunscreen on the kids too. Yeah. So anyways, we went back in for surgery, and you were out of it for this whole time because you do not respond well to painkillers whatsoever. But they had let me use an old trailer that we had originally put some of our storage stuff in. So I moved everything that we owned from the camper over to that trailer.
Yeah.
And got the Bronco free of fire ants.
Durango.
Sorry, I keep thinking Bronco for some weird reason. And Durango, got it free of fire ants, so I could drive you into surgery.
Yep.
Drove you into the surgery. It took 8.5 hours.
Instead of 6.
Instead
it
of
was going to take 6.
Yeah, but it took forever. And somebody told me that the lounge was closing where they had told me to wait, so I had to move around and stuff. And then the surgeon couldn't find me, and then he just ended up leaving a message on my answering machine, and I never really saw him after that until our follow-up appointments.
Oh no.
But they wouldn't let me in to see you in the PACU for a while because you were screaming so loud.
Yeah, well, I woke up and my right arm felt like what my left arm had felt like when I dislocated my elbow. I was mad. I'm like, what did you do to my right elbow? That was the one limb I had that was fine.
It was an automatic blood pressure cuff.
Yeah, it was an automatic that had been on me for 8.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it hurt. It hurt a lot.
It hurt so bad that they had to give me more imaging to make sure that something else wasn't hurting.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And mostly I was mad that like what the fuck? You're just supposed to fix my foot. You were supposed to touch my right arm. I obviously did not say what the fuck at the time, but
no, you did not. And so we took you back and used the backboard again.
Yeah.
And
my right arm was fine.
Your right arm was fine.
It didn't hurt. I'm telling you, it hurt.
And they transferred you over to the bed with the backboard again. Your cue ball did not work well. At all. You were up just.
It just made me paranoid. I feel like it's just
all night.
You know, it's like when we tried weed and it just makes you paranoid. I feel like that's what happened to me with the cue ball. Like it just, and I could tell. Like my body knew that's what was making me paranoid, and I think because I couldn't feel the pain because I was on massive painkillers.
I don't think it was the cue ball that did that.
Oh,
that's
right.
Just
Well, whatever I was on. Whatever I was
that.
on. Some kind of painkiller was making me very paranoid. But I was so paranoid that it made me. It's so hard to explain because it was a weird feeling. Like it was, and I had dry mouth, like extreme dry mouth.
Yeah.
And again, now, I mean, then I didn't know anything about drugs at the time. Like it was zero. I think like that would have helped a little if I'd known anything about drugs at all. But I didn't. I knew nothing about drugs. At that point,
we hadn't even ever touched alcohol.
No, right? Yeah. I knew nothing. I had no knowledge of any of it. Like just knowing that it could cause dry mouth would have been such great information for my brain to have. But I didn't have that. Anyway, so I know it was causing me dry mouth. It was making me really paranoid, and well, and I had super major surgery, and so I'd be like laying in bed, and it would feel like my foot was being like folded in half, and like like weird crazy stuff, like
the things that had actually had to happen to it during
right,
surgery between
yeah,
the
like the
19
ghost
erector sets and the 40 pins.
Yeah,
Because the surgeon said, because I asked how many screws did you end up using, because all the cult people wanted to know. They were convinced that there wouldn't be any, and at max there would be like 1 or 2. And I'm like, well, how many did you end up using? Because after I called him back, and he was like, well, I lost count at 40.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of screws.
It was a lot of screws. So yeah, they were in there for a while.
Pieces of metal but yeah, so I'm like feeling all these things in my foot, and it's scary. Like I know it's the middle of the night, and my mouth is dry, and I can't sleep, and then like I was, I think the real paranoia part though was like, I ended up perseverating on, again, didn't even know that word, but on the cue ball and where it was, because like I was worried about cutting off the flow, and then my foot was gonna hurt, and I was having these weird ghost pains, which it didn't even hurt. Like pain is the wrong word, but I was worried about it. Right? It's like that. I don't know. Paranoia is the only word I can think of. I was just so worried about it in a way that I wouldn't normally worry about things. So, which is what makes me think it was definitely the drugs I was on.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't normally worry about things like that, but I was so worried about cutting off the flow of the stupid line to my foot. And I was so out of it that like I couldn't tell where it was. And I would wake up and I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. My mouth is dry and I'm thirsty. And it was ridiculous.
And you would start fighting, and I would have to hold you down. And then...
Yeah.
So I was
panicking.
You were in a twin bed.
It's terrible.
In a cult compound, and there were 3 children under the age, like 2 and under, and I was sleeping on the floor and trying to make sure that everybody was okay and fed, and diapers were changed for everybody in the middle of the night, and at some point I actually found a pillow, and that was really nice.
Jesus Christ.
I know. And then every time the cult people were awake, one of them would be in the room praying over your foot. They were still so angry at me, they would barely make eye contact because I had actually taken you in to get surgery.
Which I very much consented to, just for the record.
Yeah. But they were so mad.
Very much.
They were so mad. And every time I used the kitchen, they were mad. And every time I did anything, they were mad. Yeah. Well, because...
Guess what?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'll come home from surgery. And we'll be in our own damn house.
That will be so good.
In our own damn bed.
Anyway, every time they were awake, one of them would be in the room, touching your foot, and screaming at God in tongues to take out the screws. They wanted
those suckers out.
They wanted those out. They wanted them out so bad. Yeah. They prayed very loudly in my face that the screws, when we woke up in the morning, all those screws would be in a Ziploc bag next to your foot on the bed. Like, they were pissed.
Yeah, they would come
that we had gotten surgery.
Tell me that, and I would just be like, "Can I pray? I'm gonna pray that God's gonna take those screws out of your foot." And I was just like, "All right, whatever." Like, I'll be very impressed if it happens.
And it wasn't even.
I don't even know what I would do if it happened.
It wasn't even really a bedroom that they had us in. It was this like powder room almost, but it was on the main hallway. So anytime somebody was coming from the living room to the bathroom, or from the kitchen to the bathroom, or from any of those places to any of the bedrooms, they had to go through there.
Yeah.
And so they were always in there, always praying in tongues.
Worked out real good.
So my family lived 6 hours away.
Yeah.
I called them.
Maybe more.
I found somebody who had a winter house that they weren't using across from my parents. We'd stayed there for a couple weeks earlier that year. and he agreed to let us stay there for a little bit again. So my parents and my little brother brought up a trailer, and then we moved everything out of the trailer that I had moved it into, and loaded you up into the Durango, not the Bronco, and drove
Our first
down.
Durango.
Yeah, our first Durango, and drove you back down away from all the cult people, most of whom we have not seen again, except for one time. Oh, yeah, I guess we did see them again.
Yeah, we saw them one more time. But that, and yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a weird exception.
That was a weird exception, yeah. So for the next couple weeks until your follow-up appointment, we stayed in that house. And it was so nice to be away from the cult people.
Yeah, that was nice.
And you would
we kind of had our own little house for a little bit.
Yeah, you would think we would have had like babysitting since we were across the street from my parents, but they were busy and at no point did they take care of the children.
Yeah.
No point whatsoever.
We did discover Wingstop though.
We did discover Wingstop. That was a good discovery.
It was.
But we stayed there for 2-3 weeks. Sold the truck that was entirely broken that I couldn't drive anyways.
Oh yeah.
Bought a new truck off South Padre Island, which was a bad plan. But got all of our stuff to Montana just like it was supposed to. And then you were...
It did get there.
The day you ran out of painkillers, we loaded up and drove to Montana.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was still all in my cast and...
Yep.
Crammed myself into the back of the Durango so I could keep my foot up. Right?
Yep, and we had to pull over so that I could still breastfeed Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah, we stopped at my parents' place in Colorado, and your brother was driving the truck.
Yes, he was.
And he went on ahead of us for some reason. I don't remember. Do you remember why he went ahead of us? Because, we stayed at my parents'.
He was bored and he doesn't like me.
In retrospect, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So I didn't realize how tense your relationship was at the time. I didn't understand that fully.
Yeah, it's always been a...
Yeah, now I do.
A little more tense than we let on.
It makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
I was really confused then, though. I remember being like, what is he doing? You just stay the night here, leave. But no, you had to keep driving, and then the starter died.
The starter died
2 hours away or something.
Yeah, so your dad had to drive up and help replace the starter.
Yeah.
And then he tried to get all the way to Montana, but there was a big old rainstorm, and the windshield wipers didn't work. So
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He had to have one foot on the gas and one hand on the steering wheel, and then he had a rag, and he was just reaching out and wiping it over the windshield so he could see.
You should have just stopped. You stop when that happens. That's the safe way to accomplish that is you don't keep driving.
That individual does not stop when that sort of thing happens. They do not.
So ridiculous.
And we moved into the parsonage at the community church where you were.
That was a nice place.
Yeah, where you were under my grandpa working at the church. That was fun. It was a trailer that had been added onto specifically for a handicapped person.
Not a travel trailer, but
a park model.
Yeah.
Yeah, a double wide park model.
Yeah. Right, that's right. I forgot that it had been specifically.
Yeah, because one of the previous pastors had a handicapped son who needed to live with them, so they had a handicapped accessible.
Yeah, everything was wide and easy to get to.
That was perfect.
One story and.
Yep.
Yeah, that was nice. That worked out super good.
That did work out super good.
Well, and then I was doing internship stuff, which mostly meant I was listening to tapes, literal cassette tapes, because.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, and reading and doing some writing and lots of reading, and then working towards preaching.
And teaching.
Eventually, I did start doing Bible studies and sermons, which was great because I didn't have to move much. I could just sit at a desk and do my work, and That worked out so good.
And that's where we were when we saw our cult people for the last time.
Yeah, it is.
Because I had arranged for them to do one of their wilderness intensives in property that belonged to a close friend of my family. Very, very kind of them to allow that to happen. So that's what they did. And then on the way to a different wilderness intensive, they stopped by to say hello to us. And one of them had forgotten that people had silverware because there was ice cream. We had ice cream together, and he had carved himself a spoon. And there were spoons right next to the ice cream, but he did not really understand what they were for anymore because he had just been with them for so long. And so we had to reteach him what a spoon was, essentially, which was really entertaining.
Yeah. No, that must have been like in October or something, huh? When they came out? September, October, something like that?
Because we got there in June.
Maybe August. Maybe it was August.
We were there for July. It would have been August or September.
Yeah, that's right. August or September.
Yeah. August or September when that happened.
Because honestly, though, that winter was one of my favorite winters.
Yeah.
Because we were in Montana. We got this huge snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Feet of snow, which I'd always dreamed of having for Christmas. And my family came out. We had shepherd.
Yep.
We smoked a turkey in the snowstorm.
Yep.
I don't know. It was just cozy in that way because I don't know.
That was cozy.
I thought it was.
No, I really enjoyed that too.
There were lots of ridiculous things, but
I think the most ridiculous thing was that was a huge year for fires.
Yeah.
So and since we weren't insured, I didn't have asthma medication.
Yeah, that would be great.
So I just couldn't breathe for months and months.
Yeah, especially that August, September, October range.
Yep.
That was not good.
Yeah, so from the time we moved there until essentially Christmas, I could not leave the house.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. I got up on the roof of that house, though.
You did. You did get up on the roof of that house to make sure that there was
so
no snow.
mad at me.
Yes.
That was probably a bad idea.
And we got...
Did you climb a ladder? I must have just climbed a ladder.
Yeah, we just climbed a ladder because you were out of boots, you were out of cast and everything. We had a party the day we took off your cast for the last time.
Yeah. That was exciting.
Yeah. But we did get imaging done last week of your foot.
It's true.
And every single screw is still in there somehow. I don't know how that works. I mean, they specifically requested that the screws be removed. And they're all still there, because turns out those are actually load-bearing screws.
They are load-bearing screws.
It's like they needed to be in there or something.
Yeah. Yep. Gotta add to my collection.
We'll have at least one more screw for your collection.
That's right. At least one. Maybe more.
Alright, that is the backstory portion. I feel like we should probably take a quick break, grab some water, come back. Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this then. Because we're at 40 minutes.
Or we could do just a little bit more.